Welcome to the Wicked Radio Network.
As I was saying prior to your firefighting episode, I am the Metatron. Don't tell me the name doesn't ring a bell. You people, if there isn't a movie about it, it's not worth knowing, is it? I am a seraphim, the highest choir of angels. You do know what an angel is, don't you? Metatron acts as the voice of God. Any documented occasion when some Yahoo claims that God has spoken to them, they're speaking to me. Or they're talking to themselves.
Why doesn't God speak for himself?
Glad you decided to join the conversation. To answer that, human beings have neither the oral nor the psychological capacity to withstand the awesome power of God's true voice. Were you to hear it, your mind would cave in and your heart would explode within your chest. We went through 5 atoms before we figured that one out.
Recorded to you live from the roof of the Nakatomi building. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. Yeah, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast.
Perfect intro, baby. That's how you know it's going to be a good
around.
one.
I hit it. Bob hit it. I hit it on the come in. Oh, I love it. Those voices, kids. Those are the co-hosts. We got a couple here. We got my buddy Dominic.
Hi.
We got Ed. He's being patient, but he'll talk. He'll talk if you let him. That's enough. That's enough. We're done. And then I got my brother Bob.
Hey, what's up,
He's
everybody?
on the guitar. Ooh, yeah, we're back, rocking and rolling. Ooh, right in the gate. How about that, huh?
So before we get started, I'd just like to take a moment of silence to remember a one Alan Rickman.
Just one?
I think only one died recently.
Yeah, that's good, too. Bob broke the silence.
There we go. All right. All right, show's
Not
over.
blaming you, just saying. I
I didn't think we were actually having that moment yet.
But you know what I just realized we should all do it like as a people? Like whoever breaks the silence when we do a moment of silence. Just give that guy, make that guy uncomfortable. Like, oh, Jerry, come on, Jerry, we were having a thing.
We're not done yet.
Exactly. I'm not done with my silence yet.
If we ever have a guy on the show
Make it a
named
drinking
Jerry,
game.
we'll hook it up.
Well, I didn't want to say, Ed. I don't want to blame Ed for everything.
You can. It's
not
okay.
when the mics are on. See, there he goes again. Yeah, I don't know what kind of show this is, folks, but you're listening to it, so it's too late. Just stick with it.
Okay.
We got a packed show.
That's
today,
the kind of
folks.
show it really is.
We have a lot to cover.
A lot to cover.
It's a very news-heavy show today.
And Dom's going to do some
and
staring.
rightfully so, because some good shit
Because
happened
Alan
this
Rickman
week.
died.
Yeah, that's
It's
it
all
is
in
kind
honor
of
of Alan Rickman.
This show is dedicated.
Yes.
This episode is dedicated.
It's all for you,
We
Davey.
totally ignored Lemmy from Motorhead dying last week, but this week Alan Rickman, who was
Alan
just,
Rickman.
in the Die Hard movies, he gets a whole
Grizzly
episode.
Adams passed this week too.
Yeah, I heard about that.
You heard about that, but you didn't hear about Alan Rickman.
Yeah, it was.
Before the mics went on, Bob said, "Alan who?" Basically, it's and people like Rickman, and he's like, "Who's that again?"
Yeah,
Bob, Hans Gruber.
I guess you never saw Harry Potter.
Not
either,
to forget Professor
No,
Snape.
I'm not into Harry Potter.
Harry-
No.
Harry Potter.
I'm 48 years old. How am I
You
into
ever
Harry
see,
Potter?
you ever see Dogma? He was the voice of God.
Okay, well,
That's
Dogma.
right.
Yeah, Dogma I saw.
Well, anyway,
But voices I'm not going to recognize visually. Or no,
No,
the
he
name.
was the angel who spoke for God that
but
had
oh,
no
that's
genitalia.
because I was gonna say, but I saw him in a members only jacket or something. Like I'm picturing him in that movie for some reason. I was like, that's not very godlike.
He was wearing like a sports jacket.
Yeah, it's.
He was sort of dressed like a bad '80s comic.
Actually, yeah. It's kind of
that was right for that movie though because he was hanging out with Buddy Jesus.
Yeah, but Alan Rickman's passed. It's a sad day.
Very sad. Very sad.
A very sad week. We also lost David Bowie. There's a
Wow.
lot of, we're starting out the show on a big up note here that we really didn't plan on, but here it goes.
Sorry.
So there's David Bowie. That goes.
This is an up
Rickman.
note. We're talking about people dying. It's an up note.
It was a sarcastic reference.
Oh, okay.
I was being sarcastic when I said up note.
I was like, wow, this is an up note.
Like a real up note.
Something good happens. What's
Yeah,
what are we
let's
gonna
celebrate the dead. And that's it. Okay. So, moment of silence for everybody. Moment of silence for everybody. And then we're going to get all into it. Because, like we said, there's just so much stuff.
All right, so
Yeah.
before we go any further,
Any further.
What do we got next?
let's just who died next? Who died next?
No.
Yeah.
No, but
You want to get a pool going?
so before we go any further,
Yes.
we got some official business to get
Official
out of the way.
business. What do we do for official business?
So we got that little second sideshow podcast that we're doing.
We're going to do it.
Sometime soon.
We're still going to do it.
It's called Preacher versus Preacher.
Preacher versus Preacher.
And it's now on iTunes. We got one episode up there.
Just one episode chilling, just waiting for a friend.
Yep.
It's waiting for listens. But it's
So,
up there. And
once the
Evidently,
AMC
most of, if not all of our current fans have no interest in listening to that one short episode.
well, the only fans that I actually know of, the hardcores, our hardcore dedicated fans, have listened.
Okay.
As far as they say.
So this our secret.
As far as they've told me. One, I believe, because she actually went and bought books.
Oh, okay.
She's
yes.
the only person I know that's going to play
That's
along
right.
at home.
That's right. We were talking about that. I forgot all about her.
So
Be patient. Give it time. You still got a couple more months before
They still
the
got
TV
a couple
show
more
comes
months
out.
to pick up the books and then listen to the podcast, and they can read along with the books and watch along with us, and then dissect along with us, and then probably complain along with us.
right. So you can follow us on Twitter with the Preacher versus Preacher
Yeah,
podcast at Preach vs Preach
That's right.
on Twitter.
That's right, kids.
So,
Mhm.
Find
check
that
us out.
account. Check us out.
So Bill, I think we got an email from Agent Palmer.
We do have an email, and as usual, I am unprepared for a class.
All right.
So,
So,
I'm gonna
do
have
we
to
skip
pull
to
up
Ed
a-
mails?
We can do that. We can skip to the Ed mails, and by the time we're done with Ed's mails, we'll get to Palmer's mails. Well, he's only got one, but
All
I
right,
just wanted to stick with it.
Gentlemen, let's not
You guys, this show is all you guys this week. Just want to let you know. I'm gonna go take a nap.
All right,
I can tell.
let's do some of these questions. Going from my old mailbag here. All right, gentlemen, whatever happened to Sonic the Hedgehog?
Xbox 360 and PS3.
I just think he took a wrong turn somewhere.
That's the best answer I had to that question.
Because really, I remember in the 90s, I did not play video games because my parents didn't believe in paying for them.
I've heard of that communist bullshit. Yeah.
So that was you I used to see at the Toys R Us stealing the video game.
or just staring at the rack.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. Yeah, you just like stare outside the
Yeah,
window, like
yeah. And
Just
then
looking at the tickets hanging there because you couldn't even see the cartridges.
finally, in 5th grade, I saved up enough money to buy a PS1, and my hand-eye coordination was shot. Just didn't work out. But my cousin, Pete, he had video games, and I remember going over his house every once in a blue moon and watching him play and playing with him. And I remember Sonic on Sega Genesis, and I even remember watching some of the cartoons in the 90s. He was a huge character.
Huge.
And he's
So no
just-
wonder you asked this question. You
he's-
seem like you really.
he's disappeared
Very
from the pop
nostalgic.
culture
No,
landscape.
I mean, you know, I
For the 1990s.
I was growing up around the same time playing Sonic games. Also, I have the same emotional feel towards that character. But you're right. I mean,
I
it's
think
kind of
technically
weird.
though he's been out of work since the 90s because they've pretty much just rehashed all the old games now.
Yeah.
They just put them on new discs. So he's you can probably see him down at the unemployment office waiting for a check.
There you go. What do you got next then?
All right. Gentlemen,
Sir,
Gentleman.
What?
have
Who?
any of you ever watched an entire episode of The Big Bang Theory?
Yes.
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. All right, that covers it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You didn't answer.
Have
Yeah,
you-
yeah.
Yes, I have. Well, my parents are big fans.
We didn't ask you to elaborate.
Ed,
We've
Can
established
I?
it.
I just,
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I don't want you to take this in any negative way at all. This is because I love you.
But he's
Yeah.
about to insult you.
Why? No, I'm not insulting him at all. I really think you should try out for the show, dude. I think you would be like,
There you
like
go.
original character Ed O'Hare, Big Bang Theory.
You think a guy like Ed fits into the
Dude, he's a
character?
walking-
Unfortunately,
he's a
it
walking
doesn't, it doesn't
movie
work like
encyclopedia.
that.
It doesn't.
Right? He's a walking movie encyclopedia.
That's what I
He
mean.
loves DC. I think that's a pretty good fit
You know
right
what?
there.
That's all you need.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, evidently you need a SAG card too.
He's
those
not going to be,
motherfuckers.
he doesn't.
Unions, these fucking unions, man.
All you need is the card. You pay $125, you get the SAG card.
I really think you should go audition for that show, man.
Well, if they just hold auditions randomly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
keep your eyes open.
Hey, I mean, send them a tape or something.
No, you don't even have to audition. Just walk on set like you belong there.
Yeah, they might not even notice. Dude.
Who's going to say
This is
something?
true.
People do say that's how they got their start in some fields. You just walk in, man. Just talk like you know shit, and they just
the hardest part is actually getting on the lot.
Well, it's the security. Once you get past security, you're pretty much gold.
Right.
You know about that.
Everybody's
Right?
like you're somebody. You're supposed to be here, right?
At the very least, you could probably get in for like a talk show where you can sit down and watch the show.
That's how you got your bar combo break.
Yeah, that's how I got in there. I just walked in there, and it's New Jersey, so it's not like anybody's paying attention to anything out there.
Yeah, that's right. Bill was a TV star for like 30 minutes.
But yeah, I guess right. It did air, and it was a half an hour show. So
all right, so 30 minutes.
Seven people saw it.
All right, about 22 minutes. You got to take out time for commercials.
All right, and
what
else we got
Then again,
here?
I'm only in so many scenes.
Gentlemen.
All right, so 17 minutes.
What are some movies beloved by all that you can't stand?
That I cannot stand. I think everybody's got something on this list, probably, if they think about it.
That's a good one. I mean, that takes some time.
I was going to say, that's a great question. But
I have a
really don't
go-to.
know.
I'll be honest. I have a go-to for this kind of conversation. For me, it's Napoleon Dynamite. And it's not like it's not like I despise the movie, but it's just one of those ones where like I didn't get it. I see some funny stuff in it, but I didn't think it was.
It's ironic,
and I get
and irony doesn't play sometimes.
No, well that's part of it too. I guess maybe certain scenes, but I definitely think it's one of those ones like it's, the humor is so kind of borderline in most of it that some people. To classify it across the board as great is hard for me. Like it's got good stuff, but like to swear it's like, oh, it's hysterical or it's amazing. It's like, all right, you gotta. For me anyway, it seems like you gotta dial that back. But yeah, like movies that it seems like everybody else like talks about all the time. Like are great things, but like for you, it's just like that's not. Is it really? Or maybe it's me, but anybody else got anything they can think of?
I'd have to go with probably Top Gun.
Yeah, well, shit. Fucking anything dated now is hard.
Famously, probably the one of movie I have never seen.
What?
That is one of the ones on the list of movies that people are shocked to learn when they find out I have not seen that movie.
Well,
dude, you have to see the movie because it's the whole reason Tom Cruise has a clause in all his contracts now where he has to have a motorcycle scene.
Well, the thing that they do say about the digger doo. The thing that some people do say about Top Gun is it's one of these things that kind of destroyed fucking movies, basically, in that it's like everyone says, oh, Jaws created the blockbuster, but Top Gun became this modern day version of the blockbuster summer movie that is like paper thin and like giant star. Like really not a lot going on there, but because the production value and the budget are just ramped up, like you know what I mean.
That was like Jerry Bruckheimer's big break,
exactly,
right?
Exactly. I believe so. I believe that's a Bruckheimer.
Yeah, but I tend to think that it's quite the shitty movie.
Oh man, it doesn't hold up. That's for sure.
It's a little silly.
It's paper thin, like you said.
Yeah. And it's so very dated.
And it's a bunch of cocky guys, flying around in planes. Okay.
And a lot of soundtrack, and I think that's the thing that kills a lot of movies. Like sometimes soundtracks are classic, and sometimes they're just so dated and of that moment.
They're of the time.
They're borderline corny at that time anyway. Like Kenny Loggins, is like that kind of guy. Like I still feel like.
Well, man,
the soundtrack
he's
to
going to take you
Footloose.
to the danger zone, man.
Yeah, but I feel like I could get away with playing the soundtrack to Footloose more than I can get away with playing the soundtrack to Top Gun. Like if you were going to judge me as a person.
Yeah, I get that.
Like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I definitely get that.
I don't know. It's just like Top Gun is just more just cheeseball.
Yeah, I mean
Footloose
isn't cheesy at all, but I mean it's intended to be cheesy.
But at least it's more earnest.
It's more like
I feel like it's trying to actually do something.
It's more like as if Stephen J. Cannell made a movie.
Basically, that's what it is. Like
all right.
Next.
What else we got?
What else we got?
All right, we'll make this the last question for the day. What fictional rock band would you hire to play at your grandma's next birthday party?
I'm glad you said
that's an
next
easy
birthday.
one for me.
I got one too.
All right, let's go
ahead,
around.
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap, sure. Grandma.
All
would
sorts
love
of entertainment with that one.
It's not just the stage show. It's
Don't
all
they,
the
don't they
shenanigans.
have a bunch of songs about dead animals?
Grandma can relate to that. I think she's been around long enough. She's seen some
They got
animals
Big
die.
Bottom. Got that Big Bottom song about girls with big asses. All the guys come out and play bass.
Well, there you go. What about you, Dave?
I would have to go with The Wonders from That Thing You Do.
Ah,
okay.
Tom Hanks.
Grandma
No,
would enjoy that.
I'm aware.
It's a great movie.
Grandma would like that. That's a very grandma band.
Pre-internal collapse.
Before the band suffered its breakup.
Yeah.
I always wonder what happened to the bass player.
He was on The Walking Dead once.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got, Bill?
So what band to play for my grandmother? Well, I don't know. Everyone's got two grandmothers. Irene, I wouldn't know what the hell Irene would want, but Lois would probably want some Glenn Miller or something like that.
Oh, no, classical. She'd have to have classical.
Well,
John Philip Sousa.
Bus liked the classical. Lois probably just went along for the ride.
Remember, it's fictional rock bands.
Ah, fuck.
Can I just get something out of the way? How do you always forget the question? It's like you always fuck up the question somehow. It's constant.
I just make it what I want it to be. I just figure, I'll just rewrite that.
Good call there. He does. Good call. By the time it gets to him, it's always a different answer.
There you go.
I think
next week to a different question.
Next week, when Ed comes up with a question that we all have an answer to, I think Bill will start. So the question's fresh.
There you go. Yeah. Let's keep it live in my mind. This way, that's definitely the way to do it. That's definitely the way to do it. Yeah. So if we're going to go fictional, then does gorillas count?
Sure.
They're real but not real?
What?
Gorillas? Because it's not completely fictional. It's not like made up in a movie, but they're not a real band?
I guess.
I don't know. Hey, I was just asking. I was just throwing it out there.
Right.
All right, I got nothing else.
Yeah, I got another one. Metalocalypse. They could play.
That's it. I want Metalocalypse at everything.
Okay.
At everything from all on. I want death metal songs about the Abysmal Plane.
Two bands I'm surprised nobody mentioned.
Oh, you really though?
What, Metallica?
No, I was going to say Sex Bomb from Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Okay, I still haven't seen that.
I never saw that.
Still haven't seen it.
And of course from the comedy classic Saving Silverman, the Neil Diamond tribute band.
Oh my God!
Diamonds in the Rough.
That's a good one.
Okay, those are good.
Grandma would love those.
Yeah,
I just got another one
Okay.
from the kids movies. What's it? The band, the Dirty Diapers.
I don't. What? I don't know which one that's from. What movie that's from?
It's a kids movie. Roddick.
The Chronicles of Riddick?
No.
I don't remember them having a band.
It's a series of books that they turn into movies for kids.
I don't know. Yeah,
and
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember the names of them. Names of the movies. I can't remember.
It'll come to you. Probably
Gem and the Holograms?
It'll probably come to you in 5 minutes, like when we're on to something else.
So
that's how that stuff goes.
So was the band that plays Scotty Doesn't Know in Eurotrip, is that a fictional band?
Yeah, I think
that's Matt Damon, right?
Right, that's Matt Damon singing that song. Actually, I think on the track, on the real track and everything. But I think in that thing, like that band has a name, like in that movie.
I feel like I kind of remember it because I've seen the movie so many times.
That's
but
great.
I think the band was called like Luster.
Sure,
something like that.
I'll go with that. But
some crazy shit like that. I mean, I could look it up, but I don't want to waste time on that. But Ed, you got anything else?
I think we're good for today.
I think we're good for today. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up Ed's section of the email section that we normally call Ed Mail because it's Ed's email.
So you didn't find Agent Palmer's email,
I was fucking talking, but it's okay.
So would you like us to filibuster while you find the
No,
email?
not at all. I have it. It's open.
Oh, you did? Okay.
It's open. I have it. I pulled it up. I had 15 minutes. I figured out like the password.
I was just being a jerk.
Success, my friend.
What do you got?
Achieved success. So Agent Palmer's got this email in the email box. It says, to the Wicked Theory podcast.
Okay.
Because this should trigger some stuff that we talked about him last week.
Oh.
I accept your invitation to participate in your podcast and crash on Bill's couch. However, I am currently deep undercover for Operation Redacted, and I feel it'll be a long, cold winter indeed. So, despite the fact that I will have to endure the remainder of this operation, knowing you anxiously await my arrival on the island of Long. Wrong.
Actually, it's the island of Staten, but sure.
Sure, we'll play with it. He got hit on the head, I guess, during his mission. I do presume that once the winter has thawed, I shall be meeting you all. Your podcast is perfect to listen to in breaking up those bureaucratic meetings I have to submit myself to every Monday. Just the other day, I was telling Mr. Blue and Professor Pink that they should listen, but they are of the old school and won't touch anything without dials. Touchscreen and mobile technology is wasted on such dinosaurs. Anyway, back to my mission. I do accept your invite, and once I have succeeded in my mission, I will be reaching out to your people.
His people.
Well, let me reread it because sorry. I do accept the invite, and once I have succeeded in my mission, I will be reaching out to your people if you have any people to reach out to. That's that, Agent Palmer. So, as cryptic and as spy-related as that email sounds, that does mean that he's accepted the invitation. At some point in the future, he will.
So I'll put an estimated date on it. I'm going to
Sure. We want to start a poll? Want to get a poll?
I'm going to go with.
Should we do this? Wait. if you want to do something for real, or even on any level, should we do it on mic? Because then he can hear what date you're going to guess, and then try and work around that.
I say 2.5 hours from now.
2.5 hours from now, or when it's post?
No, now.
Well, like, okay.
So Saturday at 4:06 p.m.
You know, secret agent he is.
Well, he ain't that good, I'll tell you now. If he was so secret,
Well,
why
don't
is
have a time
secret
shopping
agents don't have
DeLorean?
Twitter accounts. Just saying. Real secretive guys don't have.
Yeah. Well, you know, he
Social
don't.
media.
Yeah, but he don't have a time jumping DeLorean. I mean, you know,
That's a different movie. I think
he's a secret agent.
he's
though.
a secret agent, but that's like time travel. And
Once
stuff.
these guys
that's,
create
that's
these
Men in
things-
Black. That's Men in Black.
Right, and the Men in Black are the ones who come and take these things from the people who make them.
No, he's just James Bond. He's just like a James Bond. He's like that level. He's not
Really?
Yeah.
He's James Bond
I
level.
would have picked him as more
No,
like,
well, I mean, like he's like
thought he was
Cold
maybe
War
more Albert
era
Snowden
spy,
level.
See,
spy
like,
thing,
I-
Harry Palmer, Michael Crane.
I
Michael
would have
Caine,
pegged
rather.
him as more of like a Jack Bauer.
Oh, is that what? Well,
Yeah.
you would be wrong.
Maybe even a Jack Ryan.
Well, he's a Jack something.
He's
Also-
all right.
a jack of all agents.
Jack of all agents. There you go. That's the title of his book. Jack of all agents, the Agent Palmer story.
Secret agent spam.
All right, so that just about wraps it up for our
Yeah, that literally.
email
No,
section.
that literally wraps it up.
Literally.
Not just about. We're fucking done.
All right, so then
Onto the news.
we're going to do some meanwhile section.
Yeah, some real quick stuff in the meanwhile. You know, in between episodes, we have lives to lead. We see stuff. We, have TVs, and sometimes we even go to the movies.
Yeah, we
Maybe
do.
we even read books.
Sometimes.
Once
Not
in a
too
while.
mu-
Let's
not
not
too
get
much.
crazy.
Hang on. Whoa.
Whoa.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Let's not get
here.
ridiculous. Books are made for keeping tables level. That's about it.
So I'm going to throw this in the meanwhile section.
Jump out.
Even though it's airing tonight, Saturday, the 16th.
So by Monday,
So
you'll
by
be
Monday,
they'll
it'll be
talking
your
about it.
meanwhile.
Yeah, well, they'll be talking about it.
So tonight, if you listen to the end of year 2015 episode that we did a couple weeks ago, you would know that,
nice self plug.
that I'm a huge Chris Stapleton fan. The
That's
blues
right.
singer. He will be on Saturday Night Live tonight, Saturday, January 16th.
Right.
Along with celebrity guest Adam Driver. You may also know him as Kylo Ren. So
Is he going to come on the show and whine and bitch and moan?
I
sure.
expect that we'll definitely get us some Star Wars stuff.
Absolutely.
So at the very least, there's a reason to turn that on tonight.
So keep an eye out for that.
Look for those video
hopefully
clips
by
Monday.
the time you're listening to this, you've already seen it, or you'll go and check it out on your own.
Yeah.
So there's a little show on MTV called the Shannara Chronicles. I don't know if you guys heard of it.
Well, actually,
it's fairly new.
Isn't this on MTV?
Yeah, it's on MTV.
That's all we know.
It's on MTV.
Okay.
That's
It's on
the-
MTV. We talked about it a little bit
Yeah.
last week.
We did, and now I am officially beyond caught up, as I said before.
This kid, he's always outdoing me, man.
And
Just
when
always outdoing me.
When I say beyond caught up, I mean that only 3 episodes have aired on TV. And,
Well, I've seen all
I've
3
seen
of those
4.
episodes, so I'm cut off.
So this monumental
mother-
task that you undertook really isn't all that monumental.
Well, I said beyond because I did watch more than that aired.
But it's not like
Okay.
you're the only guy in the world who
No,
did that.
no.
But it's
definitely
only
not.
3 episodes. It's
well,
not like you said,
to
all
be
right, I got to
fair-
catch up on Breaking Bad.
He is the only guy at this table who did that.
And I
This is
think
true.
that's
This is true.
that's what matters most.
Yeah, you're right.
He does lead
You're
the
right.
pack.
You're right.
Give
You're
it to
right.
him. If I had a bell.
Absolutely.
I wasn't trying to brag about it, but I guess that's what
No,
it turns into.
I'm just having fun with you, Dom.
No, that's good. That's good.
No.
So, anyways, how do we feel about the show, guys?
Well, not as good as you might because you're ahead of me. That's for sure. I only
Yeah.
watched the first 2 hours of the show. The first episodes.
2 episodes.
Two episodes that they present as a one-parter, but it's really 2.
So this show is on MTV, and it's got half-naked girls running around on the beach or something?
Well,
or no?
it is
Not
MTV,
quite.
so
No?
everyone is pretty,
Everyone is beautiful.
except John Rhys Davies.
In the Shannara Chronicles.
I think you said that last week, but still holds up.
Yeah.
It still holds up.
Oh, are you kidding?
He's like, did I?
I'm going to say that every time we mention the show.
Just so he knows. John
But yeah, I mean,
Davies.
that like main girl in the show, dude, she's adorable.
Which one of the 2 main girls? Because there's the girl
Like the
who's out in the
good one.
woods.
Don't
the good
speak
one.
too highly. You got to, someone
one is
that
like
you got to watch out for.
The
Listen to
princess.
show.
They're both really good looking, but one is like super cute, and the other one,
Super
is
cute.
classic, like good looking. Like one is almost baby faced, is what I'm trying to say. The one out in the woods,
Well, the one that is like the
Woodlander.
princess.
Oh yeah,
Princess. I can't think of her name.
Fiona,
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Margaret, whatever you like.
You know,
Shanana Rana.
that's
Shanana.
It's Huck Chronicles, aren't they?
No. No, it's not.
No, it's the Chronicles of Riddick.
But
Anyways,
Mm.
I
so
did,
you're digging it.
I wouldn't say I'm digging it, because it's really clunky and
it's got some rough patches.
But
on
it's good, and I really had nothing else to watch.
It's trying hard.
So
I'll tell you that.
No, I think some of the effects are good. Some of it needs work. So the characters are interesting for the most part. You got some good character acting in there from guys like James Remar.
Okay.
Whoever that is. I think that's just making up names.
No, he played Dexter's father.
Oh, that guy. Okay. No.
Dexter,
I know who that guy is. Okay.
And
he's one of those guys you see him in everything.
Yes.
And you just don't know his name. Yeah, twice. He played 2 different guys on his show. But no. Let's keep it succinct. But I mean, it's a solid piece, and you're digging it. But. Well, no, you're gonna keep watching it, or
absolutely,
you're gonna still stick with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna watch it live every Tuesday night when it airs, but I'll either catch it online or on DVR or something like that.
Very good. All right. So what do we got next on our list there?
So on Thursday night, USA Network premiered a pilot for this new series called Colony.
I missed it.
Yeah, I watched it. All right, 2 out of 4. That's good enough. Let's talk about it a little bit.
I got time later. I'm going to have to watch it.
Yeah, maybe me and you'll snuggle up or something.
Now, we were talking a little bit about this before we started recording. Dom liked the show. I did not.
It. Oh, you didn't like it at all?
Well, no. I thought it was okay, but it didn't hold my interest enough for me to watch the next episode.
So it's this type of thing where it sets up like that there's this host, as they call it, on Earth right now. And the one thing that really that I liked about the show is that it kicks off and it's suburban house in California. You get this family, 3 kids or whatever. They're waking up in the morning, making breakfast, eggs. Seems normal. Seems like a normal day.
Sure.
And then the kid goes out into the yard and he goes to grab an orange off the tree in the backyard, and you notice that the whole entire fence is wrapped with barbed wire. So right off the bat,
something's
going on.
Something's not right.
So not to get too into it to spoil it for you guys, but that's one thing that I liked a lot. That it feels like that even though there's an infinite crisis going on Earth right now, it still feels like normalcy at times.
Right.
So it's unique in that aspect of it. So it's like I feel like every not really a disaster show, but every invasion show, I guess, or like apocalypse show.
Right.
It's just total destruction across the board.
Right. Was the story for this, to set it up just a tiny bit, is that like we're occupied. We're being occupied by an alien force.
Well,
that when the story starts, I know they played ambiguous. Like we don't know if it's aliens or it's something else. Maybe what is it? But the idea is that we are occupied by this force,
right?
And it's been going on for a while when the story opens up for the viewer.
Yeah, for a little while. Yeah.
There was another show. It was a mini-series on Sci-Fi that aired in December called Childhood's End, which had some similar aspects to this show, and that's kind of like, I felt like I'd seen pieces of it before. And some of the, I forget the actor's name. He played Taub on House, but he's the guy who's
fucking guy, dude. The fucking guy. He's got
everywhere.
names.
He's got names.
He's got names.
He's got dates. Dude. He's got your social security number.
I forget this actor's name, but he plays.
You watched House, right?
Yeah, he plays the guy who's
I forget the guy's
sort of
name, but he's kind of like. I was going to say something. I forgot.
In Colony, he negotiates with the occupiers. He's the main character. Again, I don't know his name. I know he played Sawyer in Lost.
Oh, that's Josh Holloway.
Yeah, Josh Holloway. Josh Holloway's character is sort of entertained, asked to take on this certain mission and help with the relationship between the humans and their occupiers.
And also, Josh Holloway's character in the show is married to Sarah Wayne Callies from The Walking Dead. She played Lori for a little bit on that show.
I remember her.
She's looking good, I'll tell you that.
She's looking good. She's staying fit. She's joined the gym, maybe, or she's eating right.
I know it's just a pilot, but I was impressed by both of them because I really didn't like Lori's character too much on The Walking Dead.
Well, that's a whole different animal.
But that's.
But she seems more appealing or approachable or something or whatever, likable.
Yeah.
Why is it when someone goes missing, all their family members go crazy? I don't understand that.
I don't know. It's just like
have you never lost anybody?
Maybe it's just an emotional disconnect I have.
It's like this simple term that some people use. Some call it love. I don't know.
I think it's because we're city folk and we're harder. So is New York values. It's we're harder edged.
He's probably just around the corner. He'll be back in.
Give him some time. Give him a week.
That's about enough of that.
No, it's enough of that. Colony next.
Check that out.
Check it out.
It was a good pilot.
I plan to. I will.
Watch the pilot. Decide for yourselves.
So before we start talking about some comics, in the meanwhile,
yes.
Ed, do you have anything to bring to the table for our meanwhile section?
Yeah. Did you see any movies? Did you see anything this weekend? I know.
Well, I was gonna see the Revenant last night, and I didn't.
Okay.
I'm actually going to see it tomorrow.
I saw Hateful Eight last week.
You saw it on 70mm. I heard.
Actually, no.
Well, okay, after all of that.
I got to the theater an hour early. The line was around the block, and they were sold out. And
really?
I had work the next day, and I wasn't going to be able to make the show.
That sucks.
Yeah, so I ended up slumming it at a regular movie
theater.
Slumming
it at a sticky floor
and what did
theater.
You think?
What?
What did you think, Ed?
I enjoyed it.
No, I still haven't seen it. Try not to ruin it too much for me, guys.
No.
Very fun.
Really cool character scenes. I think
don't ruin it.
Samuel L. Jackson and Kurt Russell at their best.
Okay.
And there is a surprise guest who does make a huge impact. That's all I'll say.
Well, he's not much of a surprise, I'll tell you that, because he's in the credits.
You just read the internet too much.
That too, but you know.
Mm-hmm. So me and Bill, as you know, if you listen to the show,
if you ever have before,
we indulge in comic books,
and we comic persuasion,
and we like them a lot. Mm-hmm. And we unfortunately do not get to talk about them as much as we'd like on the show sometimes.
Fair enough.
But today,
we're going to do it right now. We're going to
do it a little bit.
We're going to hit some comics. We're going to do it all.
I think there's a little Spider-Man for you. So this past week...
If you're a regular listener, it's much to Dom's chagrin.
Yeah. So this past week, the week of Wednesday the 13th...
Right.
I put together a little list.
Of
my picks that I picked up this week.
It's all about you.
I don't know, Bill. If you remember anything that you read,
I remember a couple. But we'll start with your list. We'll see where you're at.
So I'll kick it off with
fuck it.
With the biggest disappointment in my comic book reading career. And that is The Walking Dead 150.
You haven't been reading comics long enough then to be. If that's the worst disappointment you've got.
There was a bit of an exaggeration.
Was there a big reveal?
No. And that's the disappointment.
Is there a big death?
No.
Sorry, spoiler.
Kevin
Smith spoiler.
It's probably like looking back, we will probably be able to say, it was a turning point in the overall story arc, or the story, the arc of the overall story, maybe. But it's not like definitive in any way of a thing where you go, okay, that's what makes this issue like special. You know what I mean? Or that's like the standout thing. Because it's actually a thing that like could have happened the issue before, the issue after. It's like, meh.
Would you guys consider it filler more than anything else?
No. But I mean, the thing is that it was because it's like a 50th issue, and like Kirkman seems to be kind of riding this thing where it's like, every 50 issues he likes to do something crazy. It seems that we're gonna build this up, and they kind of built it up like. On the publisher level, though, too. Like, some special covers and all this kind of thing, which is usually indicative of that, like, he's actually... As opposed to it just being a celebratory thing of we hit issue 150, like most comics will just do. Like, here's a double-sized issue with a fancy cover to celebrate. But
it was double-sized, though.
Fair enough. But no real big story stuff. Normally, like when Marvel used to do that shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's what Kirkman did with this. Where it was
the big surprise for me was that Kirkman always does something crazy at a milestone. In a milestone issue. Yeah. Like, 100. There's a major significant death.
And I think in 50 something happens as well. I don't even really recall offhand. But point being that there's a little bit of a setup and misdirect. I hope kind of maybe he's doing something like that where like actually issue 152 will be the one where the crazy fucking over the top thing happens to kind of catch you off guard as a reader. Because he's known for doing that kind of shit too.
Now, does this mean that there's going to be a third Walking Dead compendium coming out soon?
Probably. Because I forget how many issues those contain.
I'm pretty sure the third came out already.
Oh, it did?
I think,
okay.
I'm pretty sure it did. Because before I ended up catching up with them, that was one of the outlets I was going to use to read them, but I ended up just going with the normal trade paperbacks.
Yeah, because the compendium is the thickest.
Yeah,
that's like a big encyclopedia, pretty much.
It's like
a phone book.
48 issues, I think.
Yeah.
It's a big
Something
fun
crazy.
book, and it's about $60 a pop, I think, if you buy it in the store, and then I think Amazon might have it for a little bit less. But
It's a beast. It's a beast. So anyway, that was a bit of a letdown. I agree with you, man.
But moving on.
Yeah. Thanks, Kirkman.
Citizen Jack.
Citizen Jack was pretty good.
Is a fairly new creator-owned comic from Image. It's the third issue came out this week. Just to give you a little backstory on it, it's about this,
small town
career politician that fails miserably in Alaska.
Yeah.
He's on the verge of suicide. He's an alcoholic, drug addict, and gets approached by the devil, I guess, or
a demon,
some sort of a demon. And the demon tells him that he'll
get him into the White House.
He'll get him into the White House to be president. So you're following Jack Noteworthy, who's a politician from Alaska.
And it's
you're following his campaign to become president, and it's a horror comic for sure, but there's a lot of comedy in it.
Yeah, it's played tongue in cheek for a lot of it.
I think definitely a lot of black comedy in it.
The last couple times we talked about it, actually, we kind of kept on dovetailing into the comedy aspects of it and stuff like that.
No, it's unavoidable.
Well, it's unavoidable. I mean, it's in there. It's played for some laughs and stuff like that. But it's fun. It's a good book.
You two guys read it?
Yeah.
I know you don't read.
I'm not up on comics.
Right.
It's going to happen sooner or later.
Sooner or later, it's going to find a way.
Yeah. If you decided you want to get back into something, this is a pretty good one to get into. It's not superhero-y in any way.
Yeah.
It's a story you could actually see on TV sometimes.
I'm getting a promotion at work soon, so I might have some pocket money.
Congratulations. You just asking to pay you in comics.
Congratulations there,
So, Descender?
I didn't read Descender.
Jeff Lemire. I read the number one for this.
All right, so we'll skip over that because that's
fair enough.
It's so if you happen to read Descender, if you're listening to this and you read that monthly,
send us an email.
And tell us what you think.
Podcast at wickedtheory.com.
Huck #3 came out this week.
I read that.
So how'd you feel about that?
I didn't read that one yet. Didn't know it came out.
It was actually, I brought it to work, but I brought it home. That's why you didn't see it in the pile. Later. It's good. I feel like, it's one of these things. Well, with his story runs, he writes just these 6-issue.
Mark Millar.
Mark Millar. He just writes these 6-issue runs of a story, so you kind of can feel the rhythm for almost every story that he writes. It's like, okay, by issue 3 or 4. We're at the midway point, so it's like
things are going to start really happening.
Yeah, they really start happening, and you kind of start to see the end game or the goalpost, as it were, in a sense, story wise. So it's good though. But I think that's what works for his stories, and for most of the things that he comes up with. Sometimes it's like, hey, it's a good idea, or it's a spin on an already existing thing. There's no reason to try and make this thing fucking.
It's a good idea.
Some giant thing. Just keep it contained, keep it small, tight, and clean, and it usually works.
Yeah, well, we always talk about how TV shows stretch out.
Exactly.
Episode, add episodes to a series, and it just ruins it if you just stretch it out too long.
Sometimes, it happens with comics.
To keep a story nice and concise this way, take the reader on a nice ride, and then you kind of got them hooked for the next thing you do.
Exactly. Right? You know what I mean? Or you come back to it another year out from now, as opposed to trying to make it work. You do another 6-issue run.
Yeah.
Make a graphic novel.
I would just say he's got to start changing it up eventually. How many I almost said episodes. Issues. Of he's going to do so the rhythm changes a little bit from time to time to keep people on their toes, because if you get into a rhythm, then it starts feeling cookie cutter.
Well, a little bit.
So do 6, do 7, do 8, do 5. Go back and forth.
He usually I think since Civil War, I think he's done primarily shorter runs on comics.
All his Image stuff, anyway.
Because he's, if you know anything about Mark Millar, you know that he's got a contract at, what is it? It's 20th Century
Fox.
Well,
if we're going to be honest about it, basically what he's doing is he's writing 6-issue runs of concepts and intellectual property, so that he's got a story.
He's trying to make them into movies.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I was getting at.
And you've had some good movies. You had Kick-Ass, Kingsman.
Mm-hmm.
These are all good. Wanted.
I think Nemesis is the next one up. That's the one.
I haven't read Nemesis, but I understand that's like that's another one of his ones that's like batshit crazy and it's really good. Next.
So my final special pick of the week.
Special picks of the week
would have to be Secret Wars #9, which
For a guy who wasn't sure if he wanted to get into it.
Well, I don't want to. I was going to be my next. That was going to be my next statement. That I just wanted to mention it because this is a very obviously deep story.
So let's put it like this. Let's keep it tight. How do I feel
after reading it?
How do you feel about it after reading it? It's got some stuff.
I feel emotionally scarred. I feel confused. I feel conflicted. I
feel robbed.
So basically, you feel traumatized.
Pretty much.
All right, well.
PTSD?
Yeah. It doesn't run that deep for me. I mean, I read it too. It doesn't run as deep for me. I'm all right with it. I'm all right with it because I feel like it's kind of a different setup. It's not what I expected them to do. And to be honest with you, I had a lot of worries about how that whole thing was going to wrap up or what they were going to do with it. And, considering the characters involved and what seems to be the trajectory for those characters anyway, this is a fine thing for the way Marvel wants to play things out for the future. I know that's vague shit, but when you read, if anybody out there actually reads Secret Wars #9, or if you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. I just don't want to give it away, really.
Who wrote the issue?
It's Kirk Hickman.
Yeah, it's Jonathan Hickman and Esad Ribic.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not really sure how to pronounce it.
I find a lot of his stuff is very similar to Grant Morrison, except you can actually understand it.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much what it is. And I think he goes out of his way sometimes, like during the editing process. I think someone actually says to him, unlike Grant Morrison, someone actually says to him, "Listen, you gotta rewrite this word balloon over here so people can follow." Because with Grant, it's just like, I just did what I want.
Well, everyone's so afraid of him that he's just going to have a giant
he's gonna put
dirigible come out of the sky and take you back to the netherworld.
Or just put a spell on you or something because he is magic. I don't know if you've watched some of the videos online, but magic is real.
Check out his Fat Man on Batman episodes.
I definitely will. Actually, I've been on a binge of some Kev Smith podcasting lately.
This guy over here.
Yeah. Well, he's very entertaining.
He is.
We'll return after these messages.
Hey, pod listeners. We post new episodes every Monday. And if you're looking for other places to listen to the Wicked Theory podcast, well, we've got some options for you. You can find us on the Wicked Radio Network, the Tangent Bound Network, iTunes, and the Apple Podcast app that's built into every iPhone and iPad. We're on Stitcher, TuneIn, Libsyn's podcast source app, Player FM, and soon Google Play. Of course, you can also hear full episodes at wickedtheory.com and on our Facebook page. As always, please subscribe, rate, and review where and when you can. That's what actually helps us to get exposure and new listeners. If you want to reach the show, you can send questions, comments, or any other little thing your heart desires to podcast@wickedtheory.com.
Yeah.
that should be on it.
That's got to be on the end of every one.
Segueing into our news section.
News?
With some comics.
What?
Some comic news. When do we do comic news?
I don't know.
It's like
what do I play?
I don't know.
Do I play news? Do I play comics?
Just play nothing. Just play nothing.
How about
just play silence.
What do you got? What do you got? It's like a pop quiz.
Play the theme song to Rawhide.
So, kicking off our news section with some Marvel comic news. Marvel announced over the week that they're going to be releasing a Poe Dameron solo comic.
Poe Dameron.
That'll be released in April.
Okay.
It's going to be written by Charles Soule.
Great character.
The art will be by Phil Noto.
Okay. All right. No, don't get me wrong. That's a great team.
I'd be up
solid
for that.
Team. I'm not so super psyched personally on any level, really.
No,
but
me neither.
I think a lot of people will be. I think a lot of people are really hankering for these three or four characters now to see solo stuff that fills the gaps.
Absolutely.
I think Poe Dameron's a great character with a horrible name.
I agree.
That's fair too. That's kind of fair too. It's not. It doesn't quite fit him as well.
So also, Civil War 2
has been announced,
and
but we really don't know.
It's going to be launched on Free Comic Book Day, which is May 7th, 2016, and it will be a participant of Free Comic Book Day. So issue number 1 will be a free comic.
Yeah, we really don't know, but we really don't know what kind of how this is going to be different than the first time around, or different at all. Or, you know,
there's I know Bleeding Cool had covered a few things because I know Marvel had like a little secret meeting. Obviously not so secret that I know about it.
Really?
With a team of like 10 or 12 creators, like their little all-star team that they got going on over there.
They had their retreat.
Yeah, to kick around some ideas to eventually put in the book. But I know that it's not going to focus on Captain America.
Okay.
It'll be an Iron Man versus Captain Marvel.
Okay.
That's going to be the conflict. Okay. So I'm kind of surprised that they're doing that because
I'm not at all.
I mean, it fits with the attraction, but I'm saying
she's going to be getting a movie in 2019.
Yeah.
And she's a female, and they're trying to bring in women readers.
Well, that's where I was kind of going with it.
I mean, I get the setup.
If anyone reads comics, you know that Sam Wilson is currently holding the title of Captain America. So I kind of expected him to play the Steve Rogers role from the original Civil War, because no one really knows the fate of Steve Rogers in these movies coming up, and I know that they're trying to push some of the diversity in comics over the past few months and going into the future, which also plays into women in comics too. So I definitely was surprised when they went with Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain amount of surprise to it. I feel like what Ed is saying though too, there's a certain amount of obviousness, but I think that obviousness is less to the fact of, like you were saying, what's strange is that to use this as a thing to push Captain Marvel to the forefront. Like, you know what I mean?
That's why I was.
I think
surprised.
I'm wondering how much of that Civil War name is really applicable to this story. Like, if it's just some kind of brand.
Unless she's gonna pop up somehow in the movie Civil War that's coming out in May.
Maybe something like that. I mean, I don't know. It's just she's not as grounded or as earthbound of a character. Like, I feel like lately, anyway.
Quick question. It's about to show my ignorance.
It's fine. we allow that.
I know Captain Marvel. Is it
Carol Danvers?
Yes. What is her power set?
It's a secret. You're not allowed to know.
Why.
Is she an alien or is she a human?
You're not Marvel enough.
Okay.
To be in the loop on these things.
Fine.
And you will be notified by mail.
Excuse me for thinking we might want to be inclusive in this conversation.
Well, not with you.
But that plays into the reason why I'm kind of caught off guard with this though, because Carol Danvers has extreme powers, almost equal or more than Superman.
Yeah,
right?
so her stuff comes.
That's why I kind of figured, the Civil War conflict would be more grounded than a cosmic thing, and that's what she's always about. So
I forget the actual nature of her power, like what, is it Scion? Is it like what kind of a natural base is it? But it's from the Kree, from the alien race, the Kree.
Okay.
So Captain Marvel that died in the 80s of cancer, who had the Naga bands, they were called, those metal bracelets and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it's all derivative of that. It's the current incarnation of that stuff. But she's had the mantle for a while now, so it's like, pushing her forward, trying to find ways to push her forward constantly. Which is all good. I'm just not up to date on my Carol Danvers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me neither.
But I mean, like, is she an alien or
no? I think she's full. I think she's full human.
She's a human who were just endowed with these powers.
Yes, I believe she's full
given
human.
powers from the Kree army.
Okay.
During the Kree.
It was Kree Skrull War.
The Kree Skull War, whatever it is.
Probably that's what back in the 80s or 70s.
Skrull, everybody's favorite terrorists in the Marvel universe.
Shape changing little green, wrinkly,
purple
bastards.
Wrinkly.
Part of the Fantastic Four property, which is why they haven't showed up in a Marvel movie yet.
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
So
no,
Marvel's,
it's very true.
Marvel's got to blow up Fox.
So moving on to some real news.
Moving on.
ABC has officially ordered a pilot for Marvel's Most Wanted,
right?
Which is the S.H.I.E.L.D. spinoff.
It's one of the least wanted things I've ever felt.
Are they going to get, what's his name? Robert Walsh? The guy from America's
oh
Most
my
Wanted?
God, Bob. That was so inside. That was so, fucking dated. I
had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know. They're America's Most Wanted. Right.
Put him in a cape,
So I'd rather watch him.
About this?
This is the one with Mockingbird.
I have no idea.
And the British dude.
Yeah, her ex-boyfriend.
So this is going to be like Legends of Tomorrow, but Marvel characters.
It's like, I don't even know. Who knows? Well, here's the problem with this show is that, like, instead of just saying, okay, forget it, we'll just figure out something else, they, like, went back to work on it. Like, ABC passed on it, and then, like, Marvel was like, okay, well, let's try and figure something else out. Let's rework it. And then, okay, now we're going to do it. So it's like
the thing that is strange with this is it's a spinoff of S.H.I.E.L.D., which, but S.H.I.E.L.D. is not getting
some fantastic reviews.
ratings.
And there's nobody that's some super standout character that's like, let's give that one their own show. Granted, she's like probably like the biggest star in a sense, where she's got like, some career history between her and the guy who plays Coulson.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I guess star power, if you will. But it's not like, oh, I'm watching it for Adrienne Palicki or whatever her name is.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's just not. I'm not watching it for that. I'm not watching it for any of those characters, really. I'm just watching it because it's peripherally connected.
Because you're a
to the
Marvel
movie.
fan and you have to.
Well, I don't know about have to, but I'm a nerd, and it's
well,
like...
that just
that's
goes to
what's
show
on.
that, like, I'm, one of the biggest Marvel nerds out there, and I can't stand it, and I haven't been able to give it a full shot. So.
And that's what I say about everybody. It's like, just because I'm a nerd, you can classify me, and that's why I do it, but that doesn't mean that's why... Argument doesn't hold, because...
Yeah, I know a bunch of people.
Otherwise, he would do it. Like,
I know a bunch of people that aren't even like had never even looked at a comic before and are like obsessed with that show. So.
And it's like,
yeah, but
they probably like CSI Miami too.
So on to some better news.
Yes. Do we have any of that?
Kevin Smith, our favorite fat man on Batman, will be directing an episode of The Flash.
Our favorite crying podcast.
Directing an episode of The Flash
that will air this season. It'll air sometime in May.
This is awesome.
There's no specifics about the episode, but we do know that'll be airing in May. So that's to me.
This is like nerd on nerd.
Kind of seems that it's going to be a really, crucial episode in terms of the plot.
Well, in terms of the scheduling too, because by the time it falls that far into the season,
well, he's directing. He's not writing it, is he?
No, I'm sure it's already written.
Did that make you nervous, Ed? Because you were like,
You see Jay and Silent Bob hang out in the background.
There's going to be a lot of sex jokes.
There'll be a lot of long dialogue passages that have nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, Barry.
Granted, I love that dialogue. Anywhere else,
right?
Yeah, anywhere else you wouldn't want it, but in those movies, it's just entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, Barry won't be able to run fast enough because he'll be smoking a split. Smoking a blunt.
Yeah, because like that. Those are the kinds of ideas
Kevin Smith has.
Yeah.
Jay's just gonna jump in front of him. Yo, dude, whoa, try this.
I mean, have you heard it?
And then that's why they keep talking for so long.
Kevin Smith wrote a script for the Green Hornet. It wasn't the one that they used in the
Seth
movie.
Rogen.
Yeah, well, but the way he describes it, the original script that he wrote, most of the time it was the Green Hornet and Kato sitting in front of the Black Beauty talking about anal sex.
All right.
And you never know with him if that's actually, actually what he put in the script or if he didn't.
Yeah.
So this is actually very hot off the press.
Hot off
the
press.
TV Line has reported that The Punisher has wowed Marvel so much, has wowed the executives at Marvel so much that they have gone and greenlit a Punisher series on Netflix.
Wow.
And he hasn't even been on the fucking screen yet.
Now, if I may ask, what site was this?
TV Line did the original, had the original scoop, but there was when I was reading the article, there was no specific on where they got the scoop from. So take that.
There's no innuendo of any kind.
No.
like it's just. It's not even like we
well,
hear.
it was they defined it as like undisclosed
TV
source.
Line. I've never heard of that website.
I think I have to.
I've heard of Deadline.
Deadline's pretty good. But all right. Well, look, there was buzz like 3 weeks ago about this that maybe that was going to happen, or maybe a month ago.
So now there's going to be even more chance for cross promotion and a character crossover.
Yeah, well, that's the cool thing about it. I think it's a matter of saying though too. It's like, what does this do to the whole?
Seems legit, right? I mean,
TV Line. Well, they're spending some good money on the website. You got good graphic design, good web layout.
I think that works for the Punisher. I think the idea of the Punisher works much better as a series than it would a standalone movie.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And especially like with the actor that they got and the fact that he's already set to be in the Daredevil show. I think that John Bernthal is a good enough actor to make that make that judgment already to say that.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be good enough, and if he is good enough, they're just going to be hungry to get him his own show, anyways.
Yeah, I think that's.
I kind of predicted that. We've all predicted that. I mean, for months now that we know that he's playing the character.
Yeah, I think Marvel's just trying to anticipate the fact that like they know that if they're fucking super jazzed by what's coming back from the show, that like we're gonna fucking eat up crazy and be begging for that show. Right. So it's better to just jump on it.
And they're probably already seeing the fans' reaction to just not even a trailer and live action footage of the guy, just a photo of him.
Right. Well, that's too.
We've
Leaked
reacted
stuff.
fairly well the community to that.
Yeah.
So
Ed was flinching like he had something.
No, I was just gonna say I'm surprised it's taken this long for John Bernthal to get a series like this.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You think someone would have locked him down? I mean,
they tried. They had that L.A. Confidential
Mob City.
That
horrible show.
Yeah, well, there was some. There was, people trying real hard. There was some good creative talent on that show on all levels, and it just didn't work. Which is kind of tells you about how crazy it is that some things stick and some things don't, no matter who you put behind it.
Yeah, he pops up a few times in that that HBO series that I was mentioning last week, Show Me a Hero with Oscar Isaac.
Right.
But he's not in all the episodes.
Right. But that's exciting. I think that's really good though. That's really exciting news.
Absolutely,
definitely jazzed about that.
So that Vixen series that was on CW Seed, the animated Vixen series.
Did that premiere?
It did, and it was very good actually.
Okay.
I urge you, if you have 10 minutes of your life,
that good, huh?
Just go watch it.
Yeah,
because there's about, I want to say, I don't know, 10 episodes, and they're all about like 2 minutes each.
Oh wow, okay.
Oh okay.
So it's a
you
quick,
could eat it up that quick.
Yeah. So the character's getting a second season on CWC.com, and she will also be appearing in live action on Arrow sometime this season.
Oh, all right.
So the girl that does the actress that does the voice for the character on the animated show.
Well, this was always the plan, right? Wasn't this always the plan for this?
Yeah. Well, I think it was. I don't know if it was their plan. I'm sure they always had it in the back of their mind, but I think it was more like. I don't really think they expected the fans to react as well as they did to the animated show.
Okay, all right.
So I think when people saw the character and how well executed the show was,
right.
They were just like, hey, fuck it, we might as well.
Okay,
sounds
good. What else, buddy?
Jonah Hex. While we're on CW shit. Jonah Hex is going to be appearing on Legends of Tomorrow.
Now, Legends of Tomorrow starts like real soon, right?
Yeah.
This week, Thursday. I'll get to that. Yeah, I'll get to that.
Okay,
for sure.
But Jonah Hex, man, they're actually going to put that guy on.
That's exciting. See that character finally get his due.
Sure, absolutely.
So Andrew Kreisberg had an interview with someone from Bleeding Cool during the week, and the interviewer asked Kreisberg, it's because there's so much time travel in the show, and you're going to be traveling in and out of the multiverse and the DC universe. Will there be any other characters that they run into, which would which would be bound to happen,
right,
if that really happened? And he said, expect Jonah Hex when we do the Western episode. So.
All right, cool. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I mean, you get that horrible Jonah Hex movie. I never even saw it, but it was just like everybody ripped it to shreds.
Yeesh. But that's a great character, though.
Yeah, that's a guy that kind of like
you especially the stuff the run that Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray had on that character.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard thing to always translate. It's Western horror. It's like but
Saint the Killers outdid him anyways.
Well, that's a whole different animal. So just very, very different.
Okay, so Ryan Coogler has been officially named the director of Black Panther, from Marvel Studios.
Good.
Ryan
time.
Coogler,
strong choice.
Directed Creed this past year. He also directed Fruitvale Station, which I've heard is a great Sundance movie that it's on my list to check out.
Right.
He's
a great choice. I'm glad Marvel finally got someone to commit, because it was getting to the wire. For their schedule for like when that's supposed to go into production and come out and all of that thing. So, and he's really talented. He's amazingly talented. So it's good news. It's good news all around.
Absolutely. So I don't know how I feel about this, but supposedly there's a Han Solo spinoff that we've mentioned on the show. And Variety reported during the week that a short list of young actors has been released.
We got ourselves a short list
to play young Han Solo in this
speculation
spin-off film. So I'll rattle off a few of those names.
Is Shia LaBeouf on that list?
No,
he's not. Okay,
but
good.
So supposedly it's a total of 12 actors that have been cut down from 100. But they only released about 6 people's names.
Well, evidently 2,500 actors have auditioned for this part.
Okay.
Or been
had meetings
approached
or
for this part.
Right.
So just to rattle off those 6, Miles Teller, we all know him from the Fantastic
He's
Failure
the guy
reboot.
who played Reed.
Ansel Elgort, he was in The Fault in Our Stars. He was he's in the Divergent series also.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah.
Dave Franco is also on the short list.
I don't know why.
Well, he's got the personality. I think he's
got charisma. He's got some charisma and personality, and I get that.
He's got the stones for this part.
But he doesn't, and he'd have the balls to do something like this. But I don't think he's right for that part.
Logan Lerman,
I don't know.
he plays Percy Jackson in Percy Jackson: The Lightning Thief.
All right.
Scott Eastwood, Clint's son.
Okay.
And the final actor, I never heard of him before. I don't know. Maybe Ed has. Emery Cohen.
Does not ring a bell.
No, me neither.
Any notable credits?
So with that, I would like to say that Emery Cohen is my favorite choice
because he's the one
I don't know what he looks like.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, I think
the safest one.
You're going to need to find a relative unknown for this part,
and that's
one of those.
Fair enough assessment, I think, because it's like it's just not it's too ingrained. It's too ingrained.
Yeah.
Was that last one the number 1 on their list? That was when it was released?
Supposedly, I've been watching a few videos on YouTube. We were watching Collider videos at work the other day, and supposedly it's really down to Ansel Elgort, Dave Franco, and Miles Teller are like the top 3 choices. Okay. So
I mean, out of those 3, I would probably go with Franco.
Would you though? Does he look like Han Solo to you?
Well, I don't think any of them do. I don't think any of them look like enough like young Han Solo.
It also depends, like, what age is Han Solo in this movie.
That's the exact problem I have with this movie, and the exact problem I have is that
Kathleen Kennedy.
The movie, when A New Hope came out, he was a relatively young guy, no? I mean, how old was he?
No, he was
25, 30?
In his mid-20s?
He was 34.
He was.
He was,
he was a soap opera actor, right?
Right, but the thing is that, like...
Him and Mark Hamill.
I'm talking about the character.
Well, they never kind of boil it down, but the thing is that, like, Kathleen Kennedy put it out a thing that they were looking for someone between the age of 25 and like 35. Like, that's a wide gap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that to me tells me that you're just willing to see anybody. Like, there's no, like, you're not narrowing it down for your story what age you need someone to be then. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know about that.
I've been thinking about it, and I think that the best bet, if they really want to do something with the Han Solo property, is not to go to the big screen and cast one of these big name actors. I think the best bet for them is maybe have ABC do a TV show with a young actor, maybe like a 15, 16-year-old kid who gets into some trouble.
They talk about maybe doing a Star Wars TV show of some kind anyway. Every now and then it comes up.
I think the hard part is...
Oh, it's going to happen now.
Well, eventually.
Star Wars, a big part of it is spectacle. And
budget.
Yes, you need a hefty budget, and I think.
But how much budget do you need with a young Han Solo?
Well, the thing is, if he's going to be, if he
runs around the desert.
But I mean, like, look, Star Trek.
Yeah.
You can and other sci-fi shows. You can pull it off. You can pull it off.
Yeah, it's possible, but I
understand what you're saying. Like, people are kind of, because it's Star Wars, they're kind of be expecting the next level of sci-fi TV, probably. So I get what you're saying. My thing right now with this announcement, though, is that it seems like it's coming to the surface now because people are saying that they're rushing it because they want to squeeze in Han Solo somehow into this Rogue One thing. But it doesn't work for me. Because if Rogue One takes place between 2 movies that already established who the hell is Han Solo, we're going to now squeeze in this guy. So that, like, if somebody wants to watch them chronologically, like, you put on New Hope then you put on Rogue One, well, now we're just going to, like, I know it's not going to all match up anyway.
Well, this is set, but Rogue One is set before A New Hope.
It's set before the Luke trilogy?
Yes, yeah, it's how they stole the plans to the Death Star.
Oh, for the first Death Star
that Leia had in the first movie.
Right. Oh,
that she loaded R2-D2
I thought we were
with.
doing for the second Death Star.
Yeah, so it's
Oh, all right, then go ahead, do whatever the fuck you want. I guess.
Supposedly,
but that's how I feel. I really generally feel like it's
yeah. I see. I don't mind the idea of a new actor playing Han Solo. I think more franchises need to get into the habit of that.
Yeah.
I see no reason why we shouldn't have a new actor playing Indiana Jones. I like that idea, sort of like what they've done with James Bond, where you have an actor who's different, who brings a different spin to it, but it's still the same character, and you get to have an original take on it.
I feel like you can't. For me personally, if I'm going to see Han Solo stuff, I want Han Solo before. Because now that you explained it to me, explained it to me, the Rogue One thing works. But much like that, I want Han. If he's going to be young, it's got to all be before.
You want to see the young Han Solo Chronicles,
basically.
Well, that's what I think it's going to be. I mean, ultimately, if you're doing a Han Solo movie that predates the original trilogy, I think if you don't include when him and Chewbacca meet, I think your head's going to be on the spike from fans. So I think you have to do that.
Yeah,
anyways. So
that's the season 1 cliffhanger.
Right. Well, movie one.
Movie cliffhanger.
So moving on from that.
Yes.
Just to mention it quick, that X-Men spin-off TV series that we mentioned a few times on the show, the Hellfire one, has lost its showrunner, according to comicbook.com, and it is not going to go into pilot this season.
Good.
So
good.
It ain't ready.
It ain't ready. Put it back in the oven.
I think that's a little too left field for like the general public. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
It might fly for a season or two, but then it would die anyway. I don't think they need to bother with that one.
They probably shouldn't have even announced it was in development.
Yeah, it was probably too soon. It was probably all too premature.
Yeah, they were definitely getting ahead of themselves, for sure.
What's next, buddy? What do you got on that list?
Heroes Reborn has been officially canceled.
Good. Next.
Thank you.
What else you got?
Wasn't canceled. It was always going to be a miniseries.
I watch it and I'm saying thank you.
Okay. Thank you for ending my torture.
I'm actually going to watch the next episode when we're done with the show.
There you go.
So, thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
I'm just finishing the storyline now. I'm invested.
Right.
So Ed might be able to shed a little more light on this than I can, because I've officially stopped watching Supergirl. But apparently, there will be a Bizzarro character coming to the show.
Yes, we will see Bizzarro. Now, I don't believe I haven't read a Bizzarro Supergirl in the comics, but Bizzarro Superman is there's a couple of different versions of the character, but the basic idea is he's a negative reflection of Superman who has a very low IQ, but all of Superman's powers. He says things in opposites. So when he enters a room, he says goodbye. When he exits, he says hello. Right. Mm-hmm. You really kind of quirky, funny character.
Yeah.
Are you really fucking explaining Bizzarro?
Yes, I am. Some people, you never know.
I just asked you about the show. I didn't really ask
they're
you
gonna
about
give
the
him that
history of
angular
Bizzarro.
look.
Yeah, but we're going to get a Supergirl version of Bizzarro.
I fucking quit. I quit.
Now, because of that, do you think it's going to be the same actress?
No, they've already hired a different actress to play it. It'll probably be her in some sort of white makeup.
Okay.
Or prosthetics.
Right.
No, they're not going to do that whole like angular glass shape.
Yeah. If anyone wants to get a
to the face and all that.
Yeah, I think so.
If anyone wants to get a leg up on Supergirl or an idea of directions that they might go in, check out the Superboy live-action TV series in the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, my God.
The first season is... Actually, the show itself is kind of hokey. The first season is terrible.
Yeah.
But they changed the actor in the second season, and there were some respectable episodes.
I forgot about that.
There's one particular one that I always liked where they go into an alternate dimension, and you see the ideas for Connor Kent and Red Sun, sort of, and this is years before they were in the comics, sort of plant seeds that were planted for those ideas in that episode. And I could see Supergirl going in some of the same directions and using the same elements. And Bizzarro was a semi-regular character in that, a recurring character. So check that out.
Very nice. So to wrap up the news section, that's about it for me. But just to keep an eye out for a few things.
Okay.
The CW pretty much owns. DC pretty much owns the CW this week.
Okay.
Starting on Tuesday night. So starting on Tuesday, I believe it's the 19th. I want to say.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
So when you listen to this, it's tomorrow. So on Tuesday, starting at 8 o'clock, The Flash will return, episode 10. And then directly after that, at 9 o'clock, there will be a special look at Legend of Tomorrow. It's going to be titled Legends of Tomorrow. Their time is now.
Ooh.
I didn't create it, so don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you, don't shoot the messenger.
Their time is now.
And then at 9:30, which I'm actually looking forward to, there will be a special hosted by Kevin Smith and Jeff Johns. It's going to be called DC Films Presents The Dawn of the Justice League.
Dawn of the Justice League!
So supposedly there will be a few new clips from Batman vs. Superman included in there, and the first official Suicide Squad trailer.
Right. I actually saw a little teaser, saw a little Kev Smith teaser trailer with him and
so look out for that. That looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And also Marvel's got a couple things going on this week too. Also on Tuesday, starting at 8 p.m. They're gonna have a special.
We're going head to head, baby.
That's
absolutely,
it.
Man.
That's it.
A little friendly competition.
Oh, it ain't friendly anymore.
So starting at 8 p.m. on Tuesday as well, there's going to be a Captain America special. It's going to be called Captain America 75 Heroic Years.
Sure.
I'm not sure how long it's going to run, but I do know directly after that, the 2-hour premiere of Season 2 of Agent Carter will be kicking off as well.
Marvel's Agent Carter.
So I gave up on Season 1 of Agent Carter about a few episodes in, so I don't know if I'm going to stick around for that, but I'll definitely check out the Captain America special.
It's all fun and games.
Don't expect any Civil War footage, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
It's all fun and games until someone gets canceled.
Doesn't seem like anything Marvel gets canceled on ABC though. I'll tell you that.
It's gonna happen one day.
Maybe
years from now.
Otherwise, Shield would have been gone like what?
It's like canceling yourself.
5 seasons ago.
Exactly.
It's gonna happen.
It's
canceling yourself.
You can't do it. Like you're already. It's costing you nothing. Like you know what I mean. It's all part of the machine. All right. Well, I'll tell you what.
So look out for those things, ladies and gents.
Yeah, look out for those things. I'm definitely gonna watch those. The specials though.
I mean, the DC ones I'm kind of looking forward to, but the Marvel one,
it feels like fluffy. Feels a little fluffy.
Yeah,
I'm sure the DC one will be fluffy too.
They did a similar thing last year. The day Agent Carter premiered.
Yeah, they found some other Marvel related special.
They brought Joe Simon back from the dead.
Something like that.
Yeah, so Flash and Arrow both return this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. And
Gotcha.
On Thursday, Legends of Tomorrow. The pilot will be on at
DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
DC.
Let's get that title correct.
Yeah, let's get it correct.
DC boy
Ed's
over here.
Have a heart attack.
And it's Batman v Superman : Dawn of Justice.
Right. Don't forget the emphasis on the colon. No, that was okay.
That movie
was that too silly?
Remember to get your colon checked regularly.
All right, so I've been doing some more polls on my Twitter account.
Ooh, okay.
I try to keep them amusing. And this week I did some imaginary elections. So with this, I just kind of was like, let me pick 2 random people. You know what I mean? Imagine if these 2 people were running against each other, who would you vote for? So I'll ask these around the table.
Are they running for president or dog catcher?
No, well, it's imaginary elections. You pick a president.
It's not the same thing.
Your options are, for the first one, your mother or your father? Your further. Your mother, your mom or your dad? Because my lips are not working. They're not working.
What did a twist of
What about you guys around the table, real quick? What would you pick, your mom or your dad? Mom or dad? Who's going to be the better president? Mom or dad? Mom or dad? Mom or dad? I know what our answer is, Bob. We'll finish with that.
Yeah, I'd probably have to go with my mom.
Okay, all right.
She's much more assertive and lays it down.
Okay,
sure.
She lays down the law. What about you, Ed?
You
had to pick.
I'm going to get in trouble.
Doesn't matter. You can't win. You can't win. One of them has to. Who will you elect?
My dad's
who gets your vote?
My dad's the politically conscious one in the family.
There you go. That's how it goes for me and Bob too. We're gonna go with dad. Dad follows. Dad at least follows politics.
If mom had her finger on the button, we'd be gone in a matter of
Dad would
minutes.
lose his mind before he got into the White House just at the idea of it all. I couldn't fix it. So,
I have to go with my mom just because my dad, he possesses way too much of those New York values, man.
Yeah, it's those New York values that'll have him killing somebody.
Really.
New York values.
Yeah, we have no values, right? I mean,
it's all
according to what's his name, Ted Cruz, we have no values.
No.
I
didn't know there was such a thing.
When the terrorists dropped the bomb, and they destroyed the towers.
Guys, I think we've dealt into the wrong part of this conversation here.
Back to imaginary.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Imaginary elections.
Let's focus on something that's actually important to us.
Well, yeah.
Wait, this is not an imaginary election. These guys.
Who? Mom and Dad?
No, Trump and
that's
Cruz.
That's what inspired me.
Yeah.
That imaginary election inspired me with this one.
Because you got to have a great imagination to pick Ted Cruz to be in the White House now.
Okay,
all right.
You done?
Yeah,
I'm done.
What do we got?
I'm done.
Something's getting cut from this episode.
The second.
Yeah, probably.
Imaginary elections. Here's the second one.
What do we got?
All right, Superman or Batman? Or if you got to pick a president, one of them. Anybody? Guys, who would you pick, Ed?
Two completely opposing viewpoints.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's got.
You know what? I got to lean on the side of hope. I'm going Superman.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, I would have to go with Batman only because Batman's got his own funds. He would not be able to.
He's got his own
He
money.
would not be able to be controlled by any politicians.
He's got that Trump money.
You figure he's got enough money of his own? He's not going to steal yours?
Well, I'm not saying he wouldn't steal mine. He wouldn't because he's the bat that crawls in the night, but he wouldn't be controlled. That's what I was getting at.
Okay,
if you've watched The Dark Knight Returns animated movie, you do know that Superman is easy to be controlled.
Oh, Bob.
Ronald Reagan controls the shit out of him.
I was actually thinking of Superman
Spoiler
because
alert.
the people would get pissed off and they demand that he start using his superpowers to save the world. You know what I mean?
Well, right. People would just be like, "You fix this, fix this, fix this."
Okay, now that you're the president, go over there and end that friggin' war, and go over there and end this, and save that. And
80% of the people picked Batman for that.
And I was one.
Yeah.
I was one.
He's probably the better politician.
78% picked Mom. On the other one, they picked Mom. 78%.
I mean, not to stray away from it too much, but I'm shocked. I know you guys have been reading comics much longer than I have, but why have I not read anything where fucking Bruce Wayne is like the mayor of Gotham City?
You know what? I think he might have ran at one storyline or another.
That's not really his style.
But that's his
Penguin
thing.
ran for mayor once. Oliver Queen was running for.
Well, we know that because they're doing that in the show right now. So yeah,
he ran for mayor of Seattle at one point. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there was talk in one storyline or another of somebody trying really hard to get Bruce to run, but you give it time. Someone will set that up. I'm sure.
It's got to be coming now with Donald Trump in real life. So someone's got to have that idea.
So here's another one. Imaginary elections. Here's number 3. Pick a president. Rick Grimes or Walter White. So that's Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead or Walter White from Breaking Bad.
Is there really a question here?
I accidentally clicked on Walter White on this on my phone.
Okay. Well,
so I would obviously go.
Your vote stands.
I would obviously go with
no hanging chads in this election.
I'm going to say Rick Grimes.
I would have to go with Rick Grimes as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's like good guy
now,
versus bad guy.
Are we going to, not to get too specific about it,
right.
I think I'd rather the comic version of Rick Grimes, personally.
If you had your overall druthers?
Yeah.
All right, well, hey, it's imaginary, so you can imagine it to be any way you want, as long as it's between those two guys. So that came out 60-40 in favor of Rick Grimes.
Hey.
More people would trust Rick than they would Walter. And then the last one I had was...
Well, it all depends. Which Walter are you getting? Are you getting the original mild-mannered?
That's a fair question too. That's a That's a good question.
The guy who puts the M60 in the trunk of his car.
It's true. I should have. Right. If I wanted to be Heisenberg, right, I should have put Heisenberg.
Because Heisenberg will rule with an iron fist.
Yeah. It's fair enough.
Walter White will be.
But he's so
He'll
pathetic.
be like, okay, the new Nazis
so
want to bed.
pathetic. You can't even decide whether or not to keep the mustache. Shave it. Jeez.
All right, so the last one, which I think for some was probably a tougher one. The imaginary elections, pick a president, Indiana Jones or Han Solo. Two very well-known Harrison Ford characters, as if you did not know that. But if you had to pick a president of those two...
Han.
I go
Bob
indie.
would say Han.
Han's got some political experience.
All right.
You know?
All right.
I mean,
All right.
He's like the son of a king.
Or something.
Right, and he
I don't
gets all
know.
these awards for saving people in the war
He's
and all
got
this stuff. He's got some
all
political
right,
experience
all
and
right.
dealing with politics.
I mean,
so
They have some similarities. They're both kind of selfish in different ways.
That's true. They are very. It is all about them in a way.
Han is a little bit more of a rogue.
Well, that's the thing. They say Han's a rogue, swashbuckling,
whereas I
thiefy
think-
kind of guy.
I think Indy has more of a pure purpose.
He's got a PhD.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
well, yeah, but his purpose is to find old stuff underground.
And that's what we need in the president.
You know?
Someone to dig up the fucking secrets,
Sure.
man. Dom, you got anything you want to say about this Indiana Jones Han Solo?
Yeah,
Vote for the YOLO.
It kind of reminds me of like the current the current race,
The current climate. You think?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of a little bit of Ted Cruz versus Trump.
Wow, you're thinking? I don't want to. I don't want to know.
So I'd have to
anymore about
decline.
Who's who in that
I'd have to decline.
You have to decline. You'll abstain.
Yeah.
You'll abstain. Well, the people spoke and they said 60% in favor of Indiana. Indiana Jones. I guess he just seemed a little bit more, whatever.
More less dislikable.
And I had a quote. I don't know.
Although the man did walk out on a pregnant woman.
I did have somebody.
If you believe the last movie.
Somebody replied on that one that, there really is only one answer, but the poll is looking like a bunch of dummies took it. And I was like, why is Indiana Jones the bad choice? I don't know if that's what he's even saying, but I didn't reply to him because maybe you're the dummy. Dummy.
What?
No. You know who I'd give in that choice?
What?
John Rhys Davies.
Of course you would. John Rhys Davies. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
that just about wraps it up for us.
this is the episode, as Bob just mentioned and brought it back to me. The episode dedicated to the memory of the celebrities lost in the last week. Sad times. Sad times.
A lot of them were lost in the past week.
A lot of them. Too many. We have to stop the death. No more death. All right, kids, we're going to wrap it up on that note. This is what we do when we wrap it up. I say stuff like, hey, Dom, you can follow Dom on Twitter.
Yes, you can. You can follow me on Twitter at Dom_Tori. You can follow Bill.
Who, me?
On Twitter at Wicked Theory.
Sure.
You can follow him on Instagram also. At Wicked
What?
Theory.
Don't you going to put out my Instagram? Wicked_Instagram theory thing?
And you can follow Ed on Twitter at
Edward O'Hare TBD.
And you can follow Bob on Twitter at Bob@WTPC.
Right.
There you go.
I always forget Ed's. You know, I
some
don't know
reason,
why.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's my full first and last name.
That's what it is. That's what got me today. I was
And
trying to send it to
TBD.
somebody.
What is the TBD?
That was my Jones name.
What does that stand for?
Because when I first hosted my podcast,
okay.
everyone else had nicknames: Socko, Tiger, Waffle, Babyface, and I would introduce myself as Edward O'Hare, nickname to be determined. And eventually, I was christened with a Jones name, which was TBD.
Hey, I like it. Those guys, they're witty. They're smart.
They're sharp.
They get it.
They do. They get it. Right in the bum. Yeah, but so I think that's it, kids. If you want to send emails, you can send them to podcast@wickedtheory.com. All that good stuff. We'll be here next week, right?
Reluctantly.
Speak for yourself.
Keep those spirits up, kids. All right, maybe we'll have a guest next week. I don't know. Bob, play us out of here, huh?
Yeah.